Welcome to Ever After, a Once Upon a Time podcast, Season 3, Episode 15, Quiet Minds. In this episode, Neil returns to Storybrooke, where he impresses Emma with his courage. Meanwhile, in the Enchanted Forest, Neil, Belle, and Lumiere search for Rumpelstiltskin. I'm your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And...
Lumiere Southgate.
You wish. No, you
So
don't.
we always say, no, I don't. We always say Lumiere, but he says it Lumiere.
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 Yeah. Wow, I did not know we were going to find Lumiere.
Mm-mm.
I did.
Did you
not
like the
know.
effects?
Oh, I love that. Dad, by the way, his name is Rob.
Whose name is Rob?
Oh, you didn't announce yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, you said Lumiere.
You know what? It's like episode 58 or something in this show. I think they know my name is Rob.
Oh, okay.
When I said, who's Rob? I thought you meant Lumiere's real name is Rob. That would be wild.
Oh, Daddy.
I thought that was a really cool effect because I didn't know how they would pull off a Lumiere. When they first showed the candelabra, I thought, oh, it's Lumiere, and now he's going to be like a moving thing. That wouldn't have worked as well.
I thought it was just going to start talking, and maybe its lights would flicker.
Or like a Muppet, just like there'd be like one of the candlesticks would start moving its mouth.
Or
Yeah.
the mouth would be in the base.
Yeah. But no, this was
and then
awesome.
the lights would blink like its eyes.
And you know what? Now I feel even worse that Belle threw and destroyed Chip. Because now you know Chip was really destroyed. No, I'm kidding. We saw Chip was back.
Mhm.
He used magic to bring Chip back, remember?
Uh-huh.
So where do you want to start with this?
Well, let's start with the Belle and the Neil story.
Okay.
Okay.
So they're
wanna
in
start there?
Enchanted Forest, and they go to Rumpel's castle, and they're trying to find clues, for how to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
Well, because Bay is convinced that he can bring him back.
Mhm.
And
so's Belle. Belle doesn't believe he's dead.
Yeah. So they're just completely convinced. They're like, we're going to find something here. And they go in, and that's where we see the scene we just talked about. We see this.
Oh, I loved it when she said, I've dusted every nook and cranny in the house.
Yeah, and we see Lumiere, and she's like, I don't remember this. And he's like, I've been ignored for years.
I've been here for over 200 years.
No, he didn't say that there.
No, but that's...
Right, he says that later, though.
And then she's like, and then when he says that, Belle's like, wait, no, he's lying.
Right.
Cut. Rumpelstiltskin built that library for me, but right before the curse hit, he would be in there for like 30 years.
Right.
Not 2,000.
200.
Yeah, or 200, yeah. Well, and we saw that episode. See, that's one of the great things with this show is how they really... It's like Doctor Who. Doctor Who does a great job of going back into its history and pulling from it. With this, that was like season 1 or something where we saw that Rump built, or maybe it was season 2, but Rump built this library for her. And it was just kind of a short scene, but now it played a huge part in this.
Very important.
Uh-huh.
So back then, it's called a plot device.
Yes.
Because it means it's going to be used somewhere in the plot later that's going to be important.
But they take their time with it. They take
Mhm.
a season, 2 seasons before they
Mhm.
pull that out. That is really
They
cool.
actually take 1 season.
It was last season?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Lumiere
Lumiere.
doesn't want to help them because Rumpel put him in that position, he claimed.
Right.
But who really did?
Zelena.
Yeah.
And but he eventually pretends to cave in and
Right.
give
Like,
them-
okay, I'll help. And that's because they say that Rump's changed and he'll get you out of this.
Right. And but he tells them there's a key to the vault of the Dark One, and they have to go there to resurrect Rumpel.
I loved it when he said where the first Dark One was made out of, well, darkness.
Yeah,
Mhm.
darkness. Well, and he also said it's a book. You got to look at this one book. When he was saying the key is in the book, he meant literally a key was in the book.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's always cool when they take the book and they cave that part in. And
Yes. How do you
They
know we
carve out. How do
you know we don't have those around here?
Because we don't violate our books.
No,
in this
that's
house.
true. We have nothing like that to hide. Ooh, it's the key to something.
a hot dog.
Yeah, hot.
Molly's Disney vanity.
Yeah. We destroy a book for a little plastic key. Lame. That's not going to
That is gonna.
happen.
That's gonna happen when I get my adult vanity.
There you go. So one thing I wanted to talk about before we go much further in the castle, and this is a side thing. It's more about Emma and Neil, but but Neil pulls out Emma's necklace.
Yes, that's with the little swan on it.
Yeah, and Belle tells him it survived the trip because it was born from true love.
Right.
Yeah.
And
then
I thought that was really
Chip
important.
survived the trip. Chip survived the chip.
The trip.
Yeah.
Chip survived the trip?
Get it? Because
I do. I get it.
Oh, we
I get
all
so
get
much.
it.
Do I get it?
Wait, that sounds like he survived a chip. Literally, like.
No, he was choking on it.
Oh,
See, that's
yeah.
how it works.
Yeah, he was choking on it.
Chip was choking on a chip. Yes.
Can we actually talk about the show?
Oh, we're talking about a show? I got confused
yeah.
for a second.
So Belle and Neil are walking to go find the crypt, and then he tells them where it is, and they start digging, moving the leaves around.
Well, no, it was all snow, and he said,
Or
under that snow and
whatever.
ice,
I'm in the wrong season.
there's the thing that the key fits in.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
And Bay goes right to it, and he starts digging, and there he is. And
he's about to put it in, and that's when he says, I've been in here for 2,000 years.
200.
200. And I was like, no, you haven't.
yeah,
And she
wait a
figured it out.
minute. Yeah.
And we also find out in this scene, it was definitely not Rumpelstiltskin who trapped him,
Right.
who cursed him. It was the Wicked Witch.
Well,
And-
Lumiere tells him the truth.
Yeah.
Like he caves immediately.
Yeah.
And then Neil gets his hand burned.
Well, yeah, Neil says, I'm still going to open it, whether Zelina set this up or not.
Yeah, because Belle wanted to leave. She
Right.
wanted to, she didn't want anything to do with that at that point.
Right. And he says, but if this brings my father back, he'll be able to defeat her. Like, he's smart. He's wily. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I have to do this.
Not.
Yeah, so he goes and he sticks the key in the thing, and that's when
And then he puts
burns.
his hand on it.
And
Well, it's
Yeah.
red and how
I bet it smelled like bacon.
Gross.
I
don't think
get
human
Bacon.
flesh.
Bacon.
Oh, Bill.
Bacon.
See? Before you get on that high horse about it,
Pretty sure human
Think
flesh
about the
doesn't
joke.
smell like bacon when it's.
depends on who it is. So yeah, and then it was just like Indiana Jones. He jumped into the snow and he stuck his hand in the snow and ice to cool it off. That happened in Indiana Jones.
Okay, what was that
It did.
craziness that came out of the vault?
Yeah,
It
that
was
stuff.
black. It was the
Oil.
darkness.
It was. You know what it reminded me of? The in Once Upon a
Lady
Time
in
in
the Lake.
Wonderland. Yeah, that stuff that came. Was it Lady in the Lake?
Yeah.
Did that do it too? Because who was the one in the little? Was that Lady in the Lake? The one in Wonderland that came up in that little pool?
Yeah.
Yeah, it came up just like that. It was creepy and gross.
Yeah.
Somebody needs a shower. So then it comes up and it's Rumpelstiltskin.
But it looked like a woman at first because it had the long hair and stuff.
Mhm.
It looked like a little ceramic woman statue with the dress and the hair.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
He gave up his sword to the witch to sacrifice himself for
For Bay.
Neil. Yeah.
Well, that was what we found out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That by Bay doing that, and Rump knew this immediately, by Bay doing it, the curse needs, the Dark One
It's
needs...
1 for 1.
Yeah, 1 for 1. And we've learned that before. So by Bay opening that up and bringing Rump back, that means Bay absolutely had to die.
Mm-hmm.
There's no loophole there. There's no way Rumpelstiltskin
Oh,
can get
I
around
loved
that.
it when they said, "Oh, don't worry, Belle. My father's the king of loopholes."
Mhm.
Yeah, well, guess what? Not in this case. Bay had to die.
Yeah, but Bay didn't know that. He was saying that about, like, Lumiere.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So what loophole did he try to do with Bay? Do you know what he did?
He didn't tell them the cost.
No.
Right, but
Where
what
did where did Neil go?
Yeah, what did he do?
Inside of Rumple.
Right, he absorbed him. So now if he can keep him in there, maybe he can take time to figure out how to save Bay.
Mm-hmm.
So he does know the loopholes. He does try to figure it out, but he really didn't know exactly how to save him. So this was pretty scary.
So let's go to Storybrooke.
Okay.
Let's go to Storybrooke.
All the Storybrooke.
So Emma's at the diner before they opened, and she goes in, and it's Hook, Regina, Snow, David, and Granny, and they're having a meeting because they know now that Rumpelstiltskin's alive,
Right.
and they don't know where he is, so they gotta
And
find him.
they still don't know who the Wicked Witch is,
And
but they
guess
know the Wicked Witch is there.
This proves that Grumpy is a little bit even more mean.
Yeah.
Because Granny said, and nobody gets between Grumpy and his
Leroy and
Leroy and his bacon.
Yeah. That was hilarious. They're like, we gotta hurry this meeting up because Leroy's gonna be here.
And then in the back, you saw her making bacon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bacon.
Well, Regina goes off to the farmhouse to go investigate.
Wait, I want to talk about something here real quick. Molly said this while we were watching it. It's important because in the Enchanted Forest, in I think it was the last episode or the one before it, is when we found out that Zelena is Regina's sister.
Uh-huh.
But at this point in Storybrooke, Regina has no idea about that.
Because her memories are gone.
Right, so she has
no
idea that she's her sister. So we got to keep that in mind as we're watching this.
Uh-huh.
All that stuff we're seeing played out is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And once they get their memories back, it's going to come rushing in. And I have a feeling Regina's going to have a bit of a freak out.
It's not going to go well.
No.
It is definitely not going to go well.
Because she has somebody to destroy.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But she will eventually find out it's her sister.
And she's going to kick her in the face.
Gonna kick her in the face. Yow!
So Regina goes back to the farmhouse, and Emma and Hook, and that might be it, go to tell Belle that Rumpelstiltskin's alive.
Right.
And Hook says, "I'll stay back with Belle."
Yeah, right.
While you guys go do your thing.
And she looked so panicked.
And she says, really? You know he's tried to kill me. And he goes, well, that was a certain circumstance. She goes, twice. And he's like, yeah, I won't this time. But, I thought that was so funny. She's like, really, you're going to leave me alone with him? He has tried to murder me twice.
Yeah, well, that's Hook's deal.
And I loved his face. How he had his eyes like, well, this time I'll make up for it. And he did that fake smile.
Yeah.
And then his eyes got like lines. It's so funny.
And so Hook and Belle are in the shop, and they hear banging, and they think...
Oh, they think it's Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin, and they go to
because they knew that he would come to her.
Right.
But who was it?
Neil.
Yeah, Neil comes flying in the back door.
Well, not flying.
Okay, he breaks through the back door.
Pushing, and
passes
then he
out.
falls down unconscious.
Yeah, Mom thought there was arrows in his back, but it was the umbrella stand.
That was pretty funny how that was...
It really did look like
lined up with the umbrella stand. It totally looked like he had a whole set of
like Robin Hood is going to be a bad guy. He was shooting Bay.
That's
not what it is.
So they have to take him to the hospital, and Emma's
I thought
there.
he was going to turn into a flying monkey.
Yeah, I did too. Or maybe he fell in there because he had just been a flying monkey and like somehow he broke that curse. But that has nothing to do with it. But that is what I was thinking too.
But Emma sees that he's got the burn on his hand.
Yeah,
and
just like Indiana Jones.
She sends Belle to go research what that symbol is.
I loved it how she's like, she took the picture and she's like, Belle, I need you to do some research. I'll text you the picture. That's all she had to say.
Yep.
And Belle's like, on it. And she just walked over.
Because us researchers
live
for that kind of thing. We love our projects. So Neil wants a moment alone with Emma, and he tells her, he wants to see Henry, and she has to tell him that Henry doesn't remember him, and that all Henry knows about him is that he was the reason that Emma had to go to jail.
Well, it's at the point that before he came back.
Yeah.
So the last thing Henry would know is what Emma knew before she went to Storybrooke or anything, which is he left, he set her up, that's why she went to jail. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is Henry has no idea about what's going on still, and Emma's really wrestling with it with this episode. She's decided to keep it from him.
Well, what she says in this scene is, she says to Neil, I don't want him to get his memories back.
Right.
And that's a pretty big deal because
she said he had a really happy life in New York, and she had a funny line. She's like, yeah, and since I've been here, like I'm chasing the Wicked Witch, I'm getting attacked by flying monkeys. Rumpelstiltskin is dead and back. And she names all these crazy things, and you go, yeah, maybe it is better that he doesn't know this is going on, and he can just go back to New York.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So Hook goes to visit Neil and brings him green Jell-O.
Oh.
Ew.
That was hilarious. Well, they left. No, I think they left Hook in charge of Neil, just like they did Belle.
Oh, I loved it when they were doing when Neil was saying thank you to him.
Yeah.
And Hook says, like, what? For being a nanny?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, that was kind of Hook's role in this one. He was kind of the babysitter every time.
And
but why would you leave Hook with Neil? Like, they're rivals.
Oh, no.
With Emma.
Oh, no. No.
Come on.
And
he's his stepdaddy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so
crazy.
confusing.
I
But
can't believe that him and his stepdad are fighting over
the
Emma.
same girl.
Yeah,
that's,
right.
That's a Jerry
There's
Springer
a lot
moment.
of weirdness going on.
But huge. We find out that Neil was the one who gave him the note and the potion in this
Yes.
scene.
So now we know where that potion came from.
So Neil was the one trying to save Emma. And,
the other thing is,
get everybody.
this episode had lots of big feels going on.
Mhm.
And right here, they're sitting there, they're kind of bantering, and we find out about the potion, and then Hook hugs Neil.
I loved it. What are you doing?
Yeah, and he goes, "This has been a long time coming. We've been fighting over a woman, but I kind of raised
He raised
you."
him. Yeah.
And it was like you just felt all that, like all this craziness aside, he loves Neil.
Yes.
And all the craziness about Rumpelstiltskin and Rumpel's mom or Rumpel's wife and all that, like if you set that stuff aside, he's a real person and he's feeling this emotion towards Bay and he's trying so hard. He's even trying to save Rumpelstiltskin, the guy that for the last season all he wanted to do was kill him.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Remember in the Peter Pan story, he's his crocodile.
Right.
He's driven insane by this guy. Yet now he's turning a
And he
corner.
lost his hand because of
Yes.
him and everything else.
He's turning a corner there, but when he hugged Bay, I thought I was going to die.
That was really
so nice.
awesome.
And Bay kind of was bristled and then relaxed and was like, then he was just like, look, I have to save him. It was like, that was a real turning point for these characters.
So Neil leaves the hospital against everybody's orders and finds
Except
Emma.
for Hook's.
Right, and finds Emma in the woods. And then they decide they're going to search together. And they start talking about New York. And she tells him about Walsh. Oh my gosh, this was so funny. She says, he proposed, and then he turned into a flying monkey. And Neil starts laughing. She's like, yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, yeah, they're like, did you love him? She's like, yes. And then he turned into a flying monkey. Like, every time she gets to that story, she has to end it with that, and it's so
awful.
Ridiculous.
And she's like, I didn't know. I didn't know he was a flying monkey. But he says to her, I just want you to be happy, even if it's not with me. And that is true love, because if you are willing to put yourself out of the picture in order to have the person the other person be happy with somebody else, that is true.
And think about it.
love.
Once again, we have seen both Bay and Hook do that.
Yes.
Now, Bay didn't do it about Hook.
No.
No.
Hook did it about Bay.
Yeah.
And Bay's doing it about the flying monkey. So it's really crazy. I mean, this is a real love triangle. And I don't know. I mean, barring what happens later in this episode,
Later in this episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know which one I mean, they're both.
I love them both.
I do. I have a real hard time with this because when she's with Bay, I think, well, of course you're with Bay. When she's with Hook, I think, of course you're with Hook.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real dilemma for her.
Yeah. So Belle called at that moment, while they're standing there in the woods having this discussion. Belle called Emma to tell her that the burn is from the key that opens the vault. And she tells her it's 1 for 1.
Right.
If it brought back Rumpel, Neil has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Emma knows now that Rumpelstiltskin is inside of Neil.
Yes. And Rump knew this immediately when he was resurrected, but I think this is where we found it out. Even though, they've said this kind of thing so many times that it's 1 for 1.
And he kept saying the voices in my head, head.
Yeah, he was telling us what was going on.
And so how did they separate them?
Not enough room.
Yeah.
Yes, not enough room. How did they separate them?
Piece of tape down the middle of the room?
She has to separate them. How did she separate them?
She pulled them apart.
Gosh, that was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Rumpel tells Emma that it's Zelena, and Neil is dying.
Yeah, he's
right
laying
then
there
and there.
dying. And of course, Rump, I mean, this whole time, all he's wanted is Belle and Neil.
Yes.
And Now, and this whole story was about him getting back to his boy, and here he is. Now, think about it. To Rumpelstiltskin, they have missed this year now, okay? So the last thing Bay and Rump remember is standing in that street when Rump theoretically sacrificed himself. Well, he did sacrifice himself, not theoretically. And this is only a couple days later in their minds.
Yeah, it's a blink.
So Rump, all he knows is, hey, I sacrificed myself, and then I'm sitting in I get resurrected. Bay gets taken, I absorb Bay, and I get him back, and boom, he's dead. I mean, it's a crazy thought.
Well, and Neil is going to die before getting to see Henry, and I cried. You had your eyes welled up with tears too.
It was so sad.
I was fine with it because I knew he was one of the characters that's going to come back.
You think?
He is Rumpelstiltskin. He came back.
So you're okay. I hope so.
So you're trying to tell yourself that he'll be back.
He'll be back
because you don't want to think about the pain if he doesn't.
Mom, he's going to be back. It might even go to season 4, but he's going to be back.
Okay, well, let's hope that happens.
He says to Emma, promise me you'll both be happy.
Yeah.
And then he says to Rumpelstiltskin, thank you, Papa, for showing me what it is to make a true sacrifice to save the ones you love. And he says, it's my turn now. So Rumple has been redeemed. He's been because redeemed. His father was so heinous. And he always was so scared that he was like him. And now to hear his son say, you made the ultimate sacrifice.
Brave. You showed me
courage.
And then he did it. Yep. He got courage.
And love. He's not so dark if he has that capacity to sacrifice himself for his child and love him. So.
Now, if I only had a brain, a heart, the Noive. Does that make him the Cowardly Lion? Is Bay the Cowardly Lion?
No.
Yeah.
How?
If what was the brain one? Wasn't there a brain one last time?
No, there wasn't. That one was Courage.
What was Courage?
No, well,
Courage was David.
So it's all Courage.
Courage.
So they're all getting the Noive.
What's the Noive?
The Wizard of Oz.
When the way he sings.
The way he sings it, he goes,
a brain, a heart, the Noive. Remember the Cowardly Lion has that funny voice? All right.
Yes.
Zelena Rumpelstiltskin has escaped from her cage.
Okay.
And she has his dagger, and she's trying to summon him, and it's not working.
Right.
And he's broken free, and so she has to send the monkey to go find him.
Right. Well, he's broken free because of the whole Bay thing. Because somehow with this Bay magic, he's, like, as Bay takes over, he's free, and then when it's Rump, like, that's what's breaking it free.
Right.
But when Bay is separated, she's able to find him immediately.
Well, so she goes to see Snow White, and she brings her orange juice. And she's trying to kind of get a little info because she says, and I know everyone's out looking for the wicked witch. And she's kind of fishing around for info. And Zelena says, I'm not letting you have this baby without me.
Yeah. And she touches her belly. I'm like,
no, it seems comforting.
I'm thinking,
but to
what is
us,
she doing?
It's unsettling.
But when she touched the belly, was she doing some kind of magic? And also, she was adamant that she take that orange juice.
Yes.
Was there something in the orange juice?
Folic
everything
acid.
She does, folic acid. Everything
Vitamin
Zelena
C.
does, I think she's poisoning, tricking, doing something.
Well, I
awful.
think we're supposed to, but she wasn't. But the fact, just what she says has.
Yeah, you're not having this without me.
And Snow hears it as
like,
loving
isn't that sweet
and comforting, and the audience is sitting there going, oh. No, she's gonna steal the baby or do something.
Oh
weird.
Yeah.
So then the next time we see Zelena, she is approaching Rumpelstiltskin as he's sitting there with Neil, who's dead.
Right.
And he told Zelena, he told Zelena that he had told Emma the truth, and that everyone in town now knows that Zelena is the Wicked Witch.
Right.
And so now they know who you
like
are.
Cover's blown. You're not going back to the White's house.
But
the White's house?
It doesn't matter because she is still controlling Rumple, and she's going to make him do.
Well, yeah, now the Bay's out of him.
Bidding.
She's in control again. And she uses that to make him go back to his cage.
Yeah, it wasn't that a horrible
And he
scene?
looks so sad, but he has no control.
He is not. He's completely powerless.
Yeah, because she's got that blade.
And she was touching with him like, just grab it.
Yeah, but
Just take it back.
he can't.
He can't. So that was just horrible to watch him having to go back in the cage and for him to be treated that way, even though he's a bad guy. He's done so many bad things.
Yeah, but
we love him.
And he's been redeemed. And that scene with Bay really redeemed him.
So it's
the only problem is
I don't know how he's getting out of this.
The only thing I'm well, they've got to kill Zelina or send her away and get that blade.
Oz.
Yeah. Now the thing that I'm worried about,
I wonder how,
is that Rump is going to do bad things under her control.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, but is that going to ruin his relationship with Belle?
Yes.
Yes.
That's probably going to ruin it with all of them because they're going to think it's him.
Right.
But you know what, though? If Regina can be believed after everything she's done,
right,
he can come back.
Just depends on how bad it is.
Absolutely.
So I'm just nervous about that because
be bad.
Yeah, because I don't think it's going to end with him and Belle in a big embrace and going, it's all solved and we can finally be together. I think it's going to be bad. Yikes.
Well, okay, so another storyline that we haven't discussed yet is Henry and Emma. Henry was doing his homework, and Emma brought him a bagel for breakfast.
I love that he looked down. That's a bagel?
Yeah, right.
After living in New York, you know, there's nothing really that compares. And he says, you're not fooling me, right?
Yeah, he's too smart, Charles.
And he says, if you can't tell me the truth, I want to go home, back to New York. So he's really pushed her to the point now where she doesn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And she says, trust that I'm doing what's best and I'll fill you in later.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay then, I believe you. And he started mine as mini, I'm doing quotation
air quotes.
Mini donuts.
Yes.
Oh, not a donut.
Not
mini
a donut.
bagel.
Bagel.
It's mini donut.
I could not stand for mini donut. I need a huge one.
Yeah, but mini donuts, you can eat a bag full of them. See?
So David and Emma are in the woods,
Mm-hmm.
and David wants to know if they're going to leave and go back to New York.
Right.
Because Emma is saying, you know what, we're really happy there. We're not so happy here with all this chaos and craziness. And David, I mean, can you imagine? That's her dad, and he just got her back, and now she's kind of alluding to the fact that this isn't going to be permanent.
And Henry's never going to know who any of you are, and it's a tough one.
And that's when they find Rumpelstiltskin for the first time, and the monkey comes.
Yes.
And then he runs.
Rumpelstiltskin runs, Emma goes to follow him, and David stays to fight the monkey.
Right.
Yeah.
When he swipes him and gets a cut so the monkey can't fly, the monkey kind of comes to the ground. So I wonder if that's going to continue on, like if that monkey is going to be injured throughout now.
I don't know, or if he killed it.
Yeah, I don't know.
The monkeys can be killed.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, yeah, we saw Walsh fall and
we saw Robin Hood shoot one with an arrow.
Yep.
So after Bay died, Emma and David rushed to get to Snow. Could you imagine the freak out?
Yeah.
Knowing that Zelina, the one who's sitting there with your mom and your wife, is the witch and has access to your baby?
Yeah, and they go in and she's like, oh, she's in the bathroom. What's going on? And they totally do a bad boys, kick in the door and each take a door and she's gone.
And then and then
that bathroom had an excessive amount of doors.
Yes, it did.
And guess what Snow said? She's like, would anybody want to tell me what's going on now?
Yes, after they kicked the doors in. And they have to tell her that Neil's dead. And so on top of everything else, Zelina's a witch and Neil's dead.
Yeah, the Wicked Witch has been, helping you out and hanging out with you all day. I hope you didn't drink any orange juice from her. And, oh, by the way, Neil's dead and Rump's alive. And yeah, it's just, and Henry still doesn't know who any of us are.
And another one that...
On a positive note, Regina's not really the bad guy.
Right.
They could say that.
And another scene that made me cry was when Snow White and David went to go tell Belle.
Oh, that
was...
Once again,
when
so
they
many
had
big
to go
feelings
see
in
her
this thing.
and pay their condolences to Neil having died, and everything that was going on. Oh my gosh, that was a very emotional scene. And Emma at the end goes to get Henry, and she comes clean. She told him about Neil. Oh, okay, Molly, how hard did you cry for this one? Seriously. When she said, I was too late to save him, but he was a hero. And then she said, he says, I wish I knew him. And she says, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, I want him to get his memories back so he can remember what it was like to have him
for that
as his
short
father
time.
for that period of time.
Yeah.
Oh, huge. So, okay, one of my favorite storylines right now is Robin Hood and Regina.
Well, of course. You're shipping on Hood
love
and Regina.
This. And he almost shot her. And
she thought he was one of the... She called him like, get over here, you little winged freak. And he came out behind the curtain. She's like, oh, you.
Right.
But they did not remember ever meeting.
No.
And so they're just...
Because that whole year is wiped away.
Exactly. But you forget that until you see how they interact each time, all the different characters. Yeah. But they're just meeting for the first time in Storybrooke, and they don't remember ever meeting before.
Yeah, she thought he was a winged monkey, and he thought she was the evil queen.
Yeah. And
the Wicked
Witch. And he wants to partner up with her. Now, every single time we see them together, he wants to partner up with her. And it's so funny, but they're...
Yep. They're just drawn to each other. It's so funny.
And she looks at him, kind of studies him for a second, and she says, have we ever met before?
Yeah.
So she has some kind of strong feeling that she knows him.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
interesting. But not
interesting.
from the bar, because she didn't even see him.
No.
Right.
All she saw was the lion tattoo.
Right.
So they go into the witch's house, into the farmhouse, and they find whiskey. That was a really funny scene.
And she's like, it's a love. It acts like a love potion, and it brings courage sometimes.
Yeah, all those things that she's like, it's just whiskey.
And until the next... But it's not so good on the next day.
Right. So Robin wants to drink with her, and that's when she sees his tattoo.
And then he's reaching down for something, and then his shirt pulls up, and she sees his tattoo.
Right.
And she hides.
Yep, and she runs.
Took off because she is a commitment phobe.
Yep.
She just
and she went just
not,
like this. Yeah.
She did not want anything to do with those emotions because she has been hurt enough. She doesn't want any love, anything. She
has Henry.
Well, she doesn't.
She gets him back.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't even have Mirror right now.
Nope.
Yes, she does. Where is he?
He hasn't been on. She must have broken Mirror.
Bye-bye, Mirror.
Bye-bye, Mirror.
Crash. No, when he fell down, he came down as the mirror.
When who fell down?
Well, when he came...
Oh, back in Storybrooke, he crashed?
Yeah.
Or in, Enchanted Forest?
When he went to the Enchanted Forest.
Oh, no! And he broke? You think they were walking on him? Crunch, crunch. Why is there all this glass on the ground?
And then they looked down. And the pieces, dough.
So, Regina at the end is watching Robin Hood and his son.
Yep.
And she's getting all kinds of emotional from it.
Because they're playing and so what were they shooting with?
Airsoft.
Airsoft. Disc guns. Airsoft? Nerf. They were doing Nerf.
Yeah. I don't know what Nerf is, but I like it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What kind of childhood have you had?
Very sheltered. Let's put her back in the cage.
Yeah, exactly.
You're holding the dagger, or am I this time? Back in the cage.
Okay.
Awkward laugh. She's like, is there really a cage? Do you mean the cat carrier you keep stuffing me in?
Yeah, the cat carrier.
A cat carrier.
What?
Our cats haven't even been in the cat.
Yeah, they don't even know what a cat carrier is. All right, are we done?
Yes. Oh my gosh, this was a fantastic episode.
Oh boy, this season is just rolling along.
I cannot wait.
A lot of feels.
Yes, and I cannot wait to see how this changes, how this develops with Regina and Robin Hood, and I really hope that Henry gets his memories back so that he can remember Neil. And,
yes.
And I really hope that Rumpelstiltskin can get out of that cage and they get
Neil
him
can
back.
Come back.
Oh.
I don't know about that, but Molly, I'm hoping you're right. Boy, this is a mess. This is a scary mess for them. So let's wrap this up. You can find past episodes of this and all of our other podcasts, as well as all of our social media links at our website, which is
www.southgatemediagroup.com. s3e15.com.
You can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. Please rate us, review us. It really helps other people find the show, and it helps us out a lot. Doesn't cost you anything except a couple of seconds of clicking on 5-star. Please.
Please.
Please. There's our plead. Martha didn't join in on that, though.
I don't agree if they don't want to put 5 stars.
Okay.
So I think
whatever
you put
amount of
whatever
stars.
you think we deserve.
Okay. We'll just edit
Please,
you out then.
There you go.
Whatever amount of star you want.
Yeah, but it does help us out, so please do it. Whether it's good, bad, or ugly. How's that? Send us an email. Our email is southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. You can also communicate with us on Facebook or on Twitter, on Tumblr. Just reach out to us and share your ideas and your thoughts and any questions or anything you might have also. That's it. Thank you again for listening, everybody. Now let's end this the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.